I am Preece from Berlin, Connecticut. So I grew up in Connecticut, started in quarter midgets in Meriden. It was a little kid, quarter midget track 5 minutes from where I was. Raced that until about 10 years old, 11 years old, and ran go-karts for a year, 270 and 600 micros for 1 or 2 years. Ended up getting into modified when I was 14 or 15 years old, and kind of stayed in that path. I ran some open wheel midgets, winged midgets, out west and even up in the Northeast. So did a little bit of that, and then just kind of progressed. Won quite a few modified championships, whether it was in a local SK modified division in Stafford or Thompson, or won a lot of races in Long Island at Riverhead. Won the Wheel and Modified Tour Championship as a driver, and also contributed in as a car owner. So kind of done a lot of those things, and then that progressed into having that opportunity with Joe Gibbs Racing, where I was able to win at Iowa and Bristol. And that got me to the Cup Series and just all the different opportunities, and racing a truck, winning our first race out at Nashville. So it's all over the place. It's a lengthy story, but I think most people that know short track racing know about it by now. Well, I think that was being in the Northeast, more so in the Connecticut area. That's our thing. You know what I mean? It's just like when you come down, or you go down in the Charlotte, North Carolina, area, the Southeast area, it's late models. That's what I've learned as I moved down here. So just growing up around it, it's really just been something that was easier for me to go race. There's racetracks 45 minutes, hour 15 minutes away. So I started by starting parking modified for an owner and a chassis builder up there. And one day they let me race, and then that started. They ended up putting me full time. We were winning races, and it's really interesting how my modified career ended up taking off. But it's extremely important to be around, to be seen, and whether it was starting parking race cars or just being there, because I was trying to make a living. I was 17, 18 years old. I worked at a go-kart track doing private lessons. I worked for my father in the summer at his HVAC business. But at the same time, every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday, I was at the racetrack, whether it was starting parking, helping, whatever it took to race. Vacations, what are those? I think we had, from what I remember growing up, I had one family vacation when I was 11 or 12. My father and I traveled up and down the East Coast, out to Indianapolis, Ohio, whatever it took, and we just raced. We enjoyed it, and the thing that I love most about my childhood or being around the racetrack, and I appreciate it now as I've gotten older, is my father never let me sit down and just kind of watch, and just, he made me, pay attention to other things that others were doing. If I wasn't doing something or goofing off, he'd make me pick trash up. He'd make me work. And I feel like as I've gotten older, it's made me a better racer. It's made me want more and to not settle with just being okay. It's to constantly better myself as a driver, better myself as somebody who is a student of the game when it comes to setting race cars up, and continuing to do so. I do have somewhat of an ability. I still continue to learn. It was funny actually coming here to Port City. The whole story on how I ended up wanting to build my super late model came in December of 2020 when I watched the Snowball Derby, and it sucked to sit on the couch. I wanted to be there. I wanted to race it. But I wanted to own the car. I wanted to have say in what went into that car or any of those things. So I told Gary, I said, hey, I'd like to buy one of these cars, but I want to build it. I want to do it at my shop, which my shop's only about 10 minutes away from here. And I think, at first he was like, are you sure you want to do that? Just because I'm a race car driver. I'm, high strung and antsy. So I think he just wanted to make sure that when we showed up, that these brand new cars, when they came to the Snowball Derby, we're going to be 100% ready to go, best of the best, whatever it took. And when I came here to go through the setup process with him, how he did it, so our cars, you know, were identical when we showed up, I think he was a little surprised that I was able to do it to the standard that him and Chris Gabehart, who was crew chiefing me there, you know, to make sure it was 100%, not 80%.
And last question. It's May. You drive for a former IndyCar champion. Have you ever had any hopes or dreams of driving an Indy 500?
I mean, that would be awesome. I got to accomplish the goal of winning in the Cup Series right now. To me, it feels like a constant battle to try and get those opportunities. And right now I have that. So we just need to, I'm going to focus on one goal at a time. And if I can, you know, hopefully get a full-time opportunity at a top-level Cup team and go out and win races like I know I can, then we'll kind of set our sights on the next goal. But I mean, I'm a student of, or I'm a fan of all motorsports. I enjoy watching wing sprint cars, wingless sprint cars, asphalt late models, modifieds, you know, you name it, whatever it is. I understand there's different driver etiquettes, different styles that it takes to go fast in each one, and that's what I feel helps myself become better as a race car driver.